The Art Director's Debrief, The Three Musketeers, The Death of Innocence, A Tragedy at the Convent. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotive Archive. We have journeyed through duels of honor, political conspiracies, and psychological warfare. Today, we arrive at the novel's heart of darkness, the moment the swashbuckling adventure transforms irrevocably into a grim and profound tragedy. In the chapters we will declassify today, 61, 62, and 63, the shadow war waged by Milady de Winter claims its final, most innocent victim. We will analyze the desperate race to the Carmelite convent, the chilling final performance of a master manipulator, and the devastating death of Constance Bonacieux. This is the anatomy of a poisoning, a study in the destruction of innocence and the birth of a cold, hard quest for absolute justice. The section begins as a frantic race against time. Our four heroes, now united with Lord de Winter, understand the imminent danger. They have deduced Milady's location and her likely target. Their ride to the convent at Bethune is not a heroic charge, but a desperate, panicked gallop, haunted by the knowledge of what Milady is capable of. Dumas masterfully builds the suspense, contrasting the speed of the musketeers with the slow, creeping poison of Milady's conversation happening within the convent walls. This creates a powerful dramatic irony. We, the readers, are simultaneously in two places at once, on the road with the rescuers and inside the room with the victim and her assassin. The scenes inside the convent are a masterclass in psychological horror. The setting itself is a symbol of sanctity and purity, a holy place that is about to be desecrated by an act of profound evil. Milady, under the guise of a persecuted noblewoman, has completely won the trust of the convent's abbess and, more importantly, of Constance Bonacieux herself. Her performance is flawless. She plays the part of a gentle, pious friend, a fellow victim of the cardinal's tyranny. The conversation between Milady and Constance is a chilling study in manipulation. Constance, in her innocence and good nature, confides in Milady, revealing her deepest secrets and her connection to the Queen. She unknowingly hands her own executioner all the information she needs. The true horror of the scene lies in Milady's internal monologue, her aside to the audience. While her words to Constance are full of false sympathy, her thoughts are a venomous stream of hate and calculation. She is a predator playing with her food. The arrival of the Comte de Rochefort, the cardinal's man, confirms Milady's power. She is not a fugitive, but an agent with the full backing of the state. She obtains a carriage, a passport, and is free to go. But she does not leave immediately. She chooses to stay for one final terrible act of personal vengeance. The climax of these chapters is the poisoning itself. It is a moment of swift, cold, and calculated cruelty. Just as the sound of the musketeers arriving is heard, just as Constance's salvation seems imminent, Milady acts. She offers Constance a glass of wine, claiming it will give her strength. The act is a perverse parody of a sacrament, a gesture of friendship that is in fact an act of murder. The drop of water from the chapter title is a reference to a classical story of torture, but here it is a drop of poison in a glass of wine. The death of Constance is heartbreaking in its speed and its tragedy. She dies in D'Artagnan's arms, her last words a confession of love. She is the ultimate innocent victim in this brutal political game. A good and loyal woman destroyed not for any crime of her own, but simply because she was a pawn in the war between the Queen and the Cardinal, and because she fell in love with the man Milady hated most. The arrival of the Musketeers, just moments too late, is a moment of profound failure and impotence. For all their skill with a sword, for all their courage, they were unable to save the woman they had sworn to protect. D'Artagnan's grief is absolute, a raw, silent agony that transforms him from a boyish adventurer into a hardened man. But it is Athos's reaction that is most telling. He does not weep. His grief is cold and hard as steel. He, Lord de Winter, and the mysterious man in the red cloak, who is revealed to be an executioner, immediately form a tribunal. The mission is no longer about saving anyone. It is now about hunting down and executing a demon. The adventure is over. A grim quest for vengeance has begun. Now that we have anatomized the heartbreaking events at the convent, let us elevate our analysis. The death of Constance Bonacieux is the novel's thematic and emotional turning point. It is the moment the story sheds the last vestiges of its light-hearted, swashbuckling tone and commits fully to the darkness of a Gothic revenge tragedy. Let us first analyze Constance as a symbol. She represents the innocence and purity of the common person, the ordinary individual caught in the great grinding gears of state politics. She is not a queen or a noblewoman. She is a linen draper's wife. Her loyalty to the queen is not born of political ambition, but of genuine affection and a sense of personal duty. Her love for D'Artagnan is pure and uncalculated. In a novel filled with characters who are constantly performing, calculating, and scheming, Constance is a figure of pure, unadulterated sincerity. And it is for this very reason that she must be destroyed. In the cynical, treacherous world that Dumas depicts, innocence is not a virtue, it is a fatal vulnerability. Her death is a powerful statement that in the great game of power, the good and the innocent are often the first casualties. She is the collateral damage of the war between the cardinal and the queen, between D'Artagnan and Milady. Milady's murder of Constance is her most monstrous act, not just because it is cruel, but because it is completely unnecessary from a strategic standpoint. By this point, Milady has already achieved her primary mission. The Duke of Buckingham is dead. She has her carte blanche from the cardinal and a clear path to escape. Killing Constance serves no political purpose. It is an act of pure, personal, and sadistic vengeance. She kills Constance simply because she can, and because it is the most effective way to inflict the maximum amount of pain upon D'Artagnan. This act solidifies her status as a true Gothic villain, a creature motivated not by logic or politics, but by a demonic, almost supernatural capacity for evil. Her weapon of choice, poison, is deeply symbolic. It is the weapon of the serpent, of the backstabber, the weapon that corrupts from within. It is the physical manifestation of her own venomous soul. The scene of Constance's death in D'Artagnan's arms is a masterpiece of tragic romance. It is the Pieta of the novel, an iconic image of a hero holding his lost love. This moment is the true end of D'Artagnan's youth. The boy who rode to Paris seeking adventure is now a man who has known profound loss. His love for Constance was the romantic heart of his journey, and her death rips that heart out. His grief transforms him. The fiery, impulsive Gascon is replaced by a cold, resolute man with a single purpose: justice, or rather, vengeance. This transformation is crucial for the novel's finale. The final hunt for Milady is not a mission assigned by the Queen. It is a personal crusade, a blood debt that must be paid. The formation of the tribunal at the end of this section is a profound and radical political statement by Dumas. The group, the Four Musketeers, Lord de Winter, and the Executioner of Lille, represents a new form of justice. When the official systems of law and order, represented by the cardinal and his carte blanche, become instruments of evil, then individuals must create their own system. This is a move from a legal framework to a moral one. These 6 men from different social classes and nations unite under a single higher law, the law of natural justice. They appoint themselves the judges, the jury, and the executioners of a criminal that the state itself has sanctioned. This is a revolutionary act, an argument that true justice sometimes requires men to operate outside the law. They are no longer just musketeers. They have become a vigilante tribunal, the self-appointed instruments of a righteous and terrible judgment. The final chapters of the novel will not be a story of adventure, but the grim and methodical execution of this sentence. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive.